Happy Diwali! And if you hear bangs and whoops and cracks in the background, you'll know why. Now, English may have originated from England, but obviously it's reached all the four corners of the world. It's official language in many different countries, and even when it's not the official language, it's spoken by millions, if not billions of people all across the globe. Now, here in India, it is one of the official languages. In fact, it's probably the only official language which is spoken across India, because even Hindi, which many people incorrectly think is the national language of India, Hindi is not spoken by huge swathes of people. For example, if you go to Tamil Nadu, they refuse to speak Hindi. Many of them do not speak Hindi, and they won't. They can't read it, they don't speak it. They would rather speak in English to you. In fact, here in India, there are more people who speak English fluently than in the United States and Canada combined. And yet, that's just a minority of people here in India who speak English fluently. Although English is used in the vernacular in all across India. So even within Hindi, for example, English is often used as part of the language. There are words which are thrown in or phrases, and there are certain words which they'll only say in English, not even in Hindi. Like even just like hello, goodbye, numbers are normally said in English, not in Hindi, for instance, even though there are Hindi numbers. I want to introduce you to some specific words and phrases which they are English, but they're used differently here in India than in other parts of the world, particularly where I come from in England. The first two words or phrases I want to introduce to you are what I would call sort of fillers, or they're ways of starting a sentence. A bit like in English when we say, well, basically, blah, 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 blah. I always think basically, a lot of people can overuse the word basically. And one of the words that they use here in India an awful lot is the word actually. In English, we can use the word actually to start a sentence, but we more strictly use it to say something which, maybe surprises you, or you're stating a fact. Well, actually, I think you'll find there's not just 1 billion people in India, there's 1.4 billion people. Or actually, China's not got the largest population now, India has, actually. Whereas in India, they'll just use it to start a phrase or a sentence. Actually, I was thinking maybe I would like to go to the cinema tonight. Actually, I'm feeling very hungry. And again, it might be used correctly, but it's more than often not just used to start the sentence. Also, the phrase, even I. A lot of people will just start the sentence with, even I was cold when it was raining. Even I was hungry today. Even I liked that film. Which is not the way we would normally use it in English. In English, we would only say, even I, if you were about to say something which somebody wasn't expecting you to say. For example, even I love wearing a bit of lipstick and mascara. Which would surprise somebody because I'm a man and I probably don't look like I would like to wear mascara, for instance. Or, I look pretty stupid, so if even I'm very clever at maths, which I'm not. But that would be why you would say even I, because it's surprising. Whereas here in India, it's just used as a sentence starter. If someone says to you here in India, don't time pass, you're time passing, it means you're wasting time, as in you're letting time pass by. Time pass. If someone invites you to the Saloon, don't get too excited. They're not taking you down to a waterhole with a Western theme. They're inviting you to go and maybe get your hair cut or your beard trimmed. Now, we would probably call this a salon, or a barber's, or a hairdresser's. But here in India, they will pronounce it saloon. Now, sometimes it is spelt like salon, S-A-L-O-N, and sometimes it is spelt like saloon, S-A-L-O-O-N. Very often I have people who come up to me and they say, oh, I really like your personality. Now, initially I was shocked, thinking, well, you don't really know me, but thank you, because it's often they've just met me. But what they mean is they like my physique. Now, they do sometimes use the word personality correctly. They might say, you've got a very nice personality, after getting to know me. But people who are just coming up to me and they say, I really like your personality, they mean my physique. If somebody wants to walk past you, don't expect them to be terribly polite about it. They will not tend to say, excuse me, could you move to the side? What they'll normally say is, side, side! And then you just have to move very quickly to either side. Someone who looks like me is often referred to as somebody who is a foreigner, which is true, or often he's out of country. He's an out of country person. Sometimes I've turned up at work and usually on my dressing room it will either say my name Benedict or more often be misspelled like Benedict. or it will say the name of my role that I'm playing in the film or television program. But occasionally it's just said foreigner. Nice. If you send somebody a message or an email, they won't normally say they'll get back to you. What they normally say is, I'll revert. I'll revert by tomorrow, which simply means I'll respond back to you or I'll get back to you by such and such. In India, it's quite crude to say that somebody has died. You won't usually hear somebody say that they've died. They won't even say they've passed away. What they normally say here in India is that they've expired. Where I come from, we don't use the word expired to say that somebody's died. We use the word expired to say that something's gone off or gone past its best before date or gone past its use by date. So, for example, the banana has expired or the credit card has expired. It's, you can't use it anymore. When I go to the gym, I don't take a towel, I take a napkin. In India, a towel is what we refer to as maybe a bath towel or a beach towel. A smaller towel, which we'll probably maybe say is a face or a hand towel, in English is referred to as a napkin. In England, a napkin is a paper serviette that you get at a restaurant to wipe your face and fingers. Since. In India, they'll use the word since in a number of ways. In English, we'll say since as in to say the shop has been open since 1942. I've been alive since 1980. In India, they'll use it in a more flexible way. They'll say, if somebody asks you, when was the last time you went to Goa on a holiday? They'll go, since 5 years. Since 5 years, as in 5 years ago. I'm British, but I'm not often referred to as British. I'm referred to as being a Britisher. Not much else I can say about that. Indians use the word to, as in T-O-O, in place of the word very. So if somebody says to you, you're too good, or you were too fast, or you're too clever, don't get worried. Don't think, have I broken the law? Have I speeded? Am I wearing something that's too posh? Is it too much? They just mean very. You're very good. You're very fast. You're very clever. So this has been my Diwali gift to you. A little introduction to common English phrases used here in India, which you may not understand if you come from the English-speaking world. But now you do. You're welcome.